And, let us share your thoughts below, and maybe we'll talk about it some other time on in the future. Maybe not. Moving on real quick, and you said you heard about the situation. Let me Google it real quick. The whole Lady A versus Lady Antebellum situation.
I mean, when it first happened, I was following it and posting a bunch of stuff on Facebook about it. It was the same time that they started like tearing down statues of Confederates, and then a lot of the brands started changing, like Aunt Jemima.
Right. That was what I remember now.
And the like Land O'Lakes and the Redskins.
Yeah. Everybody.
It was the same time. Like it seemed like all the companies were like, "Oh, we got something that offends people. We got to change it." And so Lady Antebellum was one of those companies that fans, but companies were like, "All right, let's do this."
Right.
But is your screen flickering, or is that just mine?
I think it's probably on my end, but don't worry about it. Okay. Sometimes it happens. I think it might be maybe it's the internet. I don't know. I'm still got to look into why it does it, but I'll figure it out. Maybe my computer's not strong enough sometimes to handle some of this
spinach.
But yeah, I do need. But the one thing that caught my attention on this, like, the history of the word, and there's even a movie called Antebellum that's out right now that deals with like slavery and things like that. The reason why they decided to change the name, because they didn't want to be offensive to black people. Mm-hmm. So I don't buy that they didn't, when they decided to go from Lady Antebellum to Lady A, they didn't do a quick Google search just to see if that would have been cool. Everybody does that when they are coming up with the new name, especially creative types.
Or they should,
especially if they have a production team, a record label backing them. Of course, that should have been that's creative types. That's the first thing we do. We check Google to see if anybody's using it.
Website available?
Yeah, exactly. So you can't tell me that they didn't know that this lady existed. And this is the part that I don't like. Whether they change their name or not, that's on them. If whatever backlash they get from having Antebellum or just that's on them. But they decided to change it for that reason. We don't want to be offended to black people. So what the hell are you doing suing a black person, an artist, who legit had the name first, if you don't want to come off as offensive? That's my question.
The whole thing to me is just completely hypocritical. And I wasn't a huge Lady Antebellum fan to begin with. I mean, they have a few good songs, but I was never a huge fan. But after this, I'm totally disgusted with them and the way that they've handled this. It's like what kind of bullshit hypocrisy is this? Oh, we want to support the cause, and we want to do this, and then but we're gonna let's take money out
of the hand of this black person, and
she actually does a lot of activism in the community, and like she's not just a musician, she's also, I think, an actress, and she does a lot of like charitable work and a lot of community work and activism. So it's the most asinine, most insane thing. Like it doesn't make sense.
It doesn't make sense.
It doesn't make sense for them to pick this hill to die on.
Exactly. Out of all the things in the world that we see people like double down on or stand their ground on and stuff, the copyright of a fellow artist. Let's take race out of it for us. I'm gonna put that to the side for a second. A fellow artist. I mean, Lil Nas X considered changing his name when it kept being associated with Nas, their other rapper named Nas. Even though Nas didn't invent the word Nas. I mean, we could take like nitrous oxide, right? Like the like Fast and Furious stuff, right? I mean, but that was something that he was thinking about doing, which he didn't have to. His popularity way surpassed that the other rapper Nas, as far as fame and popularity, money and whatnot. But he still considered it. That was something he really thought about it. And I think they settled that, but maybe gave him permission. I don't know. But he obviously didn't change the name. But this situation right here is way different. This woman had this name, was in the business before some of these people were even born. and
Been doing this for
for decades, and she's gotten awards for it. She's and on top of that, she's what's considered like an independent artist. She's not she never got the major record deal, probably that in comparison to them. So to you, if you want the name, if it's that important to you, I think she gave them opportunity. Buy it, like go through the proper channels. I'm not using it to the level that you guys could probably be using it. But if you want it, you're gonna have to pay for it. Because she has a point. People we get shit taken from us all the time. All you really have nowadays is your name, and it's important to a lot of people. And it's important to her. I saw her in an interview. It's important to her. So I think honestly, if they really wanted it, I think she would have settled and gave it to them to share it.
A reasonable amount.
I think it was like 9 million or something like that. But I think that's what she's suing for now, like because of all the trouble. I think that's the lawsuit now.
Yeah, the original amount wasn't anywhere near that.
Probably wasn't anywhere near that. But now that Lady A, the original Lady A, was in a situation where like some songs that she's done recently were being pulled off of platforms because of the confusion. Oh, you're not the real Lady A. This other group that's only that's been around for a couple of years in comparison to your 20 plus years. They're the real Lady A. So now you can't. Now you're messing with her ability to earn and make money, and they're really actively going after her, her past accomplishments and her past songs and having them squashed out in other platforms and stuff like that. Like, I don't know, Spotify, for example. I don't know. But that's insult to injury right there. It's like, what makes you think you can win this fight? But maybe they feel like they can. What the hell with the arrogance of this?
It's another example of the haves shitting all over the have-nots. It's like they already have, Lady Antebellum already has a successful career. They could change their name to just about anything.
Yeah, they could be Lady B for all we fucking care. I don't know.
Yeah, like nobody really cares what their name is. Like as long as it's not super offensive,
Right.
Like they could change it to just about anything that doesn't sound too stupid.
Yeah.
And they would still have fans. Like they don't have to do this. So it's not a necessary thing. And if you're that creative, you can this idea is taken, okay, I'll come up with something else. Like shouldn't be that big of a deal. But the fact is they have the money, they have the agents, they have the industry to go after this smaller artist. Put race aside, it's just like the whole and this happens. I mean, this happens in business and stuff in history all the time.
Yeah, throughout music history. This is a big deal.
Not just even music history, but just history in general. Like it's just
appropriate cultural appropriation. There's a whole bunch of things that could be thrown into this.
But then the fact that there's that, which is frustrating because it's like they don't have to do this. It's not going to hurt their livelihood to change their name to something else, but it's definitely going to hurt Lady A's livelihood. So there's that. But then the hypocrisy of, we're going to do it under the guise of we care about the black community and
we don't want to be offensive, and we want to show how unoffensive that we are, and how can we do this, people, by suing the shit out of this black lady who literally had the name first. There's no debate about this. What would Tony Soprano's would say? Where do you get your balls? What doing something like it baffles me. I could see them, like their fan base being like why did you change your name in the first place? You shouldn't have to bow down to that country culture crap and blah 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 and stuff like that. Like if I could have seen them having that fight, that kind of would have made more sense to me. But to have this fight after it's like we've already pissed our fan base off by changing the name. But are we trying to make them happy by doing this to this lady? I'm trying to figure out what the motivation is and what the end game is.
Yeah, like I said, to me, it's just all of it's completely stupid, just unnecessary and hypocritical on top of it.
And then what happens when they lose?
Well, I hope Lady A wins. I hope she gets.
Yeah.
If it's 9 million, I hope she gets 9 million, and I
Oh,
hope Lady Annabelle loses the 10
it'd be funny if the country group when they heard you say, "I hope Lady A wins," they would probably step in front of the camera. Thank you. I'm glad you're supporting us. Like, no, not
Nope,
you.
wrong
Wrong.
We're talking about the real.
Exactly the original Lady A. I'm like,
Yeah.
like I don't know, man. I can't. I'm not a lawyer, but I would be shocked if the group wins this one, and I would be shocked.
I hope they don't. I mean, if they
There's
do, it'll be,
so
it'll
far
be
their
because
strong
they have-
arming is
Yeah.
successful so far.
If they do, it'll be because they have the money and
It would suck, man. That's
something
just
in the system.
It's just a shitty
I
thing
mean,
to do to somebody. That's just crazy.
It is. Yeah, it is. And
I mean, throughout
so
the
I was pissed off when I first heard about it, and put on Facebook and stuff, and it still blows my mind that this is still going on, and that Lady A is still having to fight something just as ridiculous.
you originally, and that's the last thing I'll say before I move on to the next one. Your original fight was to, or your agreement was to, okay, so we can stop looking offensive. We'll change the name. So you go from a naming of a brand offensive with an offensive name, or what you discover later is offensive to a group of people, and then been showing that you're concerned about that, to you shift from that to a more serious situation of the history of black people in the music business being taken advantage of and being ripped and having with their talents not being compensated for equally throughout his, like Motown and stuff like that. I'm like dude, there's a history of this, like Elvis and all that, who invented rock and roll. There's a whole history about this. So it's like, why would you move from one offensive thing to another?
It's like we're gonna try and show that we're sensitive to past issues.
Yeah.
By being completely insensitive to current issues.
Yeah, to it. Yeah, exactly. Like, it's I don't know. I feel like that Price is Right sound effect should have came up after they did that.
Yeah.
But oh well. Yeah. They went up that little. What's that game where the guy goes up the middle? He went right over it. But now I guess I'm dating myself. Now I'm old. All right, guys. Let us know what you guys think about that. If you have any more to add on it, if your thoughts on the whole Lady A versus Lady A situation, who will win? Place your bets, and we'll talk about it some more on maybe later on. We got your mail. If anything else comes up from it. Outstanding, guys, and appreciate it once again. And until next time, hey, have a good one.
Our supporters help make all this content possible, so make sure you check out our Patreon page so you can help us bring you the content you want.
Push the pedal to the freaking metal. I'm turned up just like heavy metal. Yo. Turned up on another level. Push the pedal to the freaking metal. I'm turned up just like heavy